Wala. Ayon. Ayun.
Madam Chairman, from Swerte Party List, being a member of the minority, I choose to abstain. Thank you.
Bagaw.
From Dinagat Islands, Madam Speaker, I am a member of the minority. I vote to abstain.
Balindong.
Faustino D.
Banyas Nograles.
Okay, what we are seeing right now are live pictures from the House of Representatives, where House Speaker Martin Romualdez has just decided to resign, and they are now holding the vote, the plenary vote, to decide who the next speaker will be. The only nominee at this point is Isabela Representative Faustino Boji D. III, so it's a foregone conclusion, but they still have to go through the motions. Just to recap what Speaker Romualdez said in his speech, he said the president reminded him that accountability must prevail and no one is above scrutiny. And so he says, I fully and unequivocally embrace that call. The longer I stay, the heavier the burden grows on me, this House, and on the president. And so after deep reflection and prayer, and with a full heart and a clear conscience, I tender my resignation as House Speaker so that the Independent Commission can fulfill its mandate fully and without interference. He also says, let the truth emerge and let justice be done. He told everyone, don't lose faith in democracy. He says, I leave this chamber as I first entered it, a humble servant, and I step down, not in surrender, but in service. That was, we just saw Congressman Kiko Barzaga, one of the, can I call him the man of the hour? Cast his vote, presumably for Congressman D, although on social media, Congressman Barzaga has been very vocal about the administration candidates. Hindi ko alam kung who Congressman Barzaga voted for just now, because he just came up to the podium and cast his vote, but we were on silent, so we were on mute.
Well, just to add to that, see, Congressman Romualdez also said that sometimes the greatest act of leadership is the grace to let it go.
Correct. Those were his closing lines. So I step down not in surrender, but in service. Sometimes the greatest act of leadership is in letting go, in the letting go.
And I do this so that the Independent Commission on Infrastructure may pursue its mandate freely and fully without doubt, interference, and undue influence. Walang pipigil, walang makikialam.
So the magic number that Congressman Dean needs to hit is 159, if I'm not mistaken, because there are 317 House members. It needs to be half plus one. Yeah. So half is 158, so plus one is 159. What's not clear to me is
Albi Benitez.
See, Congressman Benitez just cast his vote. Not sure either who he's going to vote for, considering he's part of the so-called independent bloc, but presumably he would have cast his vote for Congressman D. Hindi ko alam if sinama na yung Gabriela, because they're supposed to take the slot, one more seat in the House. Hindi ko sure
kung nag-oath na sila.
Oo, hindi ko sure if nag-oath na sila. So if they were to be counted, there are 318 members of the lower house. But if hindi pa sila nag-oath, that would be 317, in which case 159, and Congressman D will be the new Speaker of the House. Who is Congressman Faustino Boji D. III? Si Ed ang makakasagot niyan.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So we're just learning Congressman Kiko Barzaga abstained from voting.
Para pwede dyan badatan later.
On social media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sabi niya on social media, akala niya he'll be the next speaker eh.
Oo nga, ako rin.
Akala mo din? Or akala mo ikaw yung next speaker?
Very tight yung race. Hindi, kung congressman ako.
You would want to be speaker?
Hindi, baka maglaban nga kami ni Barsaga.
Talagang ano, paninindig mo talaga.
Ano yung online
Wala ko.
persona mo?
Kung siya, aw.
Oh. Corny naman.
Bok, ito
Okay.
I prepared
Let's,
Prezi on the D dynasty.
Ano gusto mo, tumawag
Sige,
ako?
nakatuwi ka ng konti. Halika.
Yuyuko.
Halika.
Yuko ako rito.
Okay, just move over.
Huwag kayo yumuko. Ang katawa-tawa itsura mo yan. Kaya mo yan. Hindi ka nang ganun katanda eh.
Ang hirap.
Hindi, uro mo lang yung puwan.
Hindi ba yung kamay mo?
Here.
Balik tayo.
Hindi ko lang kamay. Ito, meron
Okay.
akong remote eh.
Ayan,
Yeah.
sige.
Ayan.
Okay, now
Yeah.
we can see. Okay.
Okay. The
Great.
D dynasty began with the Faustino D Sr. Oops, teka. Nahugot mo yung mic ko eh. In 1962, he ran and won as councilor in Kawayan, Isabela. By 1964, he was the mayor already
Hindi pa ako pinapanganak.
of Kawayan. So he's the patriarch. Councilor 62, Kawayan Mayor 64 to 71, Governor from 71 to 86 in EDSA Revolution, and then he had a 2-year break kasi si Cory had everybody resign, and then he got back into the good graces and governed from 88 to 1992. So he's the longest serving governor.
He would have known Marcos Sr.
Oh, yeah. That's where we're going. Okay. That's Faustino D. Sr., the patriarch. Curiously, he was also close to Ninoy Aquino.
Why do you
of
say
Tarlac.
curiously?
Well, because later on he'd be very
Marcos
close to
siya.
Marcos. So before, and he was also a part of the Liberal Party before martial law. In fact, yung mga kwento-kwento nila, si Ninoy and D were talking to each other on how to resolve the problem of the New People's Army in Isabela. And in fact, it was Ninoy who helped D to resolve that issue.
Pero huwag mo kalimutan, si Marcos was also Liberal Party before.
Yeah.
Bago siya lumipat sa nationalist.
Oo.
I think a lot of people would have forgotten that.
When
no?
he lost the nominations. Anyway, so way back, magkakaalyado itong dalawang ito, si Ninoy at si Faustino D, the patriarch. And then, of course, you had martial law, and Faustino D switched sides and joined the Kilusang Bagong Lipunan and become part of the Solid North. You had a group of governors who basically lorded over the northern provinces in support of President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. So, yan. Moving on, dumating ang kanyang anak, si Faustino D. Jr., who ran and won as congressman from 1992 to 2001. And then as governor from 2001 to 2004. 24 na udlot kasi 24 he lost to Grace Padaka, the broadcast journalist, and one of two people who remarkably ran and won against established political dynasties. So he lost to Grace Padaka, and Padaka, I think, governed until 2010, thereabouts. Anyway, so that's Faustino D. Jr., the father of Congressman Faustino D. III, yung ngayong speaker, nakaambang maging speaker. Si Faustino D. III was actually the congressman from 2001 to 2010. So he served a full 3 terms until yung term limit. Then he was governor from 2010 to 2019, also the full term limit. And then vice governor from 2019 to 2025. And then 2025, now is going for the speakership.
Naging congressman.
Yeah, back to Congress and now gunning for the speakership. Okay, that's Boji.
A lot of people say he looks young, pero actually he's in the 60s, no?
Yeah.
Hindi ko lang sure exactly
he's
how old.
1961.
1961.
Oo, so it should be 64.
63, 64. Yeah.
Siguro Boji ang palayaw.
Hindi, he really does look young.
Binabagay yung palayaw sa sa dating.
Makapal pa yung buhok niya at saka maitim.
Anong gusto mong palabasin?
Bakit
Si Ronaldo.
Naisip na hiwati.
So this is Boji D. III. Ang kanyang anak. Okay.
Faustino din.
D. the Fifth, congressman from 2019 to 2022, and now Echage mayor. Mayor ng Echage one of the bailiwicks of the Ds in Isabela.
So this is, sorry, go back to the last one. So this is Ino.
Teka.
Yung tinatawag nilang si Ino D.
Teka. Okay.
Ay,
Okay, here we go.
this
Hindi
one.
ka tumalon eh. Doon away. Where were we?
Up there.
Inbotek na tayo. Okay, we were here.
Ayun. Medyo may lag lang siguro.
Medyo.
Isa pa, pindot pa.
Medyo.
So 5 generations of Faustinos, no, that have ruled Isabela since the 1960s, since the patriarch. This is the guy that they're calling Ino, and he and his father swapped seats in 2022. So si Congressman Boji, who is now being elected to become the new House Speaker, took over from his son Ino D, otherwise known as Faustino D the Fifth.
Kahit may isa pa siyang term remaining as mayor, ay nag-shift siya to being a congressman at nagpalit sila ng kanyang anak. Pero hindi nakalagay dito yung ibang mga D.
Oh, meron pa.
Meron pa.
brothers niya.
So
Meron pa.
there's more to his presentation.
Bagal eh.
Teka. Bitin yung ano niya. Hindi kumagat yung
Here.
resi. Sige, subukan mo dyan.
There we
Ah,
go.
there we go. Okay.
Okay. So there are other Ds in the lower house.
Inuna ko muna yung mga members of Congress kasama ni Boji D. May dalawa pang D. Parehong pamangkin, si Ian Paul D. And si Faustino Michael Carlos D. Let me see kung ano yung kanilang relationship. Si Faustino D.
The third is a nephew.
Yeah, son of Benjamin D., the brother of Boji D. Si Faustino Michael Carlos D. the third is the son of Benjamin din. Tapos, ayoko nang dahil hindi na gumagalaw dito eh. Ano natin?
You can see there's a very concerted effort to keep the name Faustino going.
Yeah.
Patriarch.
Oo, tuloy-tuloy, no?
Even being shared amongst different families.
I think we jumped a page, pero anyway. So it continues to grow. The brother, Napoleon D., is a mayor of Kawayan. Another nephew, Cesar J.C. D., is a councilor. Ang brother niyang si Francis Faustino D. is the vice governor. Another brother, Faustino D. the fourth, is a provincial board member. Another brother, Victor D., is also in the provincial board. And I think this is a cousin Bernard Faustino D. is ambassador to Switzerland. This is actually just a partial list. Hindi pa ito yung full list. And there are other Ds who are also in office or in-laws as well. So,
Meron din, Faustino D the fourth. And yung anak ni Boji D is Faustino D the fifth.
puro Faustino. Kaya galiban na
It's
sila.
I mean, it's great for name recall, right? Every election time, I guess, they figured it out na pag Faustino D, people recognize the name.
But si Ronald had the point kanina na hindi parati monolithic yung D dynasty. And there are times there have been fractures. In fact, I saw some references kanina, looking it up, na there was a point that they had a reconciliation before the elections. So there was a fracture at a certain point. Can you tell us about that, Ronald?
Well, dahil nga isang probinsya yan, may mga pagkakataon na different parts of the family ay magkalaban for
Will want the same
position.
Nauubos yung posisyon eh.
Oo.
Eh, dami na nila.
At meron pang ibang mga families sa Isabela, katulad ng mga Albano.
May Albano pa.
Na part ng D ay ka-coalition nila, part ng D ay once in a while ay nakakalaban sa politika. Kaya ang sinasabi ko lang, hindi siya monolithic. No.
In short, it's also a family business.
Well,
Because they're fighting for positions amongst
Yeah,
themselves.
it is a
basically.
dynasty.
Oh,
Sinasabi
it's-
ko lang, parts of the dynasty may be fighting each other at particular moment for
Yeah.
particular positions.
You see
it's
that
a
in a lot
big-
of big dynasties.
Yeah, it's a big-
The Modedatus are also like that.
Oh.
That's also
Pero
fighting
the
themselves.
Albanos is also a big family sa Isabela. At yung patriarch nila ay matagal din na political leader. Alam ko naging governor din, naging
Oo.
congressman din, no? Kaya minsan kasi yung paghahati ng lugar ay pinagtatalunan.
But
Katulad
this
din
is
sa
a
ibang lugar.
really big
Yeah. Halimbawa sa
dynasty.
halimbawa meron kang lugar sa Basilan na magkalaban yung magkapatid, no, yung Hataman. No, magkalaban sila. So, nangyayari na mga dynasties are also fighting each other. Kaya sinasabi ko lang, hindi sila monolithic.
Because the positions don't grow as fast as the family.
At saka siyempre,
To
may
put
mga,
it crudely,
Yeah,
di ba? Because they
the
all
positions
want
only
the...
grow when you break off another district.
Tsaka may mga dynamics yan. May mga magkakaibang personality, magkakaibang mga gusto, magkakaibang ambisyon. Well, nakikita rin naman natin yan kahit sa presidential sister. Di ba? Magkalaban siya ng presidente. No? Dito pa kaya sa local.
So there's a lot of questions online about whether Boji D has the credibility or the moral ascendancy to be the face of reform. Kasi kaya nga there's been so much pressure on Speaker Romualdez over this flood control scandal is because it all keeps coming back to the House of
Yes.
Representatives, right?
Yes.
Does he have the name,
Well,
legitimacy, the credibility?
Yeah. Well, una kasi, kinakailangan sa speaker ay loyal sa presidente. Doon nagsisimula impeachment eh. Doon
Akala ko
ang
ba independent
doon ang
branches
power
of
of
government?
Sabi mo na.
Wait,
Saan kuweba siya galing?
independent branches of...
Hindi ko na sabihin. So yun yung una, di ba? Kailangan more or less loyal dahil nga doon mag-emanate ang impeachment. At ngayon, nagtetrete ng Vice President to impeach the President before his term ends. No? Ikalawa ay personally dapat magkakilala. Tingin ko, alam ko mag-compare sila ni BBM. No? Kahit naman si Chris Aquino, kumare. No? Ganun naman sa aming mga elites eh.
Saan mo sino kumpara ni BBM? Itong si Boji?
Boji.
Okay.
Tapos, ikatlo, member siya ng ruling party, yung Partido Federal. Bagamat before ay nationalista. Nationalist People's Coalition siya. No? For a long time. No? Kanina, nung nagkasabay kami ni Congressman Benny Abante, may duda siya kung kaya ni Boji D na hawakan yung Kongreso dahil ito yung first time na napunta siya sa isang national position.
Actually,
At hindi lang national. Ano? Yung nangyayari itong position na ito sa gitna ng ganitong bakbakan. No? Mga scandals, at yun siguro yung isang niya eh. Hindi pa siya masyadong na-connect sa isang scandal o isang controversy. Kaya hindi ko sinasabi na ganun siya kalinis, pero for now ay walang naibabato sa kanya na controversy, lalo na in relation dito sa mga flood control, corruption na mga nangyayari.
Although matagal siyang congressman, under the radar lang siya.
Under the radar. Oh.
I was gonna say, we didn't realize na he had that many relatives in public office. Right? I guess we were well aware na D is a political dynasty,
Yes,
pero
yes.
at one point in time, ang dami nila.
Yeah, actually sa probinsya nila, dalawang pamilya ang nagbabakbakan dyan, the Albanos and the Ds. No? Minsan magkakampi, minsan magkalaban. Tapos nakasingit si Padaka.
Nagpapalitan lang sila ng seats.
May moment na nakasingit si Padaka. Parang sa Pampanga,
Si Father Ed.
si Father Juan, no?
Father Among.
Among Ed, no? Nakasingit. May mga ganung moments. Pero
For the most part, D
part,
versus
yeah,
Albano.
dalawa o isang family ang nagbabakbakan. No? Kaya, ayun, sabi nga ni Congressman Abante kanina, hindi niya sigurado. Kahit kaklase ng kanyang asawa, si Congressman D, ay nga, wala siyang track record sa national politics. At alam naman natin, under the radar lang siya. Yung iba nga, hindi alam na naging kongresista siya. Diba? Mas kilala pa nga siya as naging governor. No? At afterwards, nagpalit sila ni Congressman Albano. Si Congressman Albano ang naging governor at si Governor D ang naging vice governor. Si Congressman Albano, na-interview natin dito,
Correct.
yan ang mas malapit kay Presidente. Magkabatch yan. No? Si Governor Rodito Albano, na yung asawa ay ambassador natin sa Japan. No?
Another interesting point here is yung connections between the Marcos family and the D family. Yun nga going back to the martial law era.
Yes.
Dumikit talaga sila. Nagkadikitan sila. They fed off each other. And then,
Solid North.
And then in 2016, he endorsed Bongbong Marcos for the vice presidency. Him and Isabela officials. But interestingly then, In 2022, he also endorsed Risa Ontiveros for the Senate.
Yes.
At the same time that he was endorsing BBM and Sara Duterte for the presidency and vice presidency.
Yes, usually naman kasi sa Senate, sa Senate naghahalo eh. Pwede sila
mix
maghalo.
ka.
Hindi naman sila nagso-solid eh. No? At minsan nga, hindi kompleto na 12. No? Usually, 8 lang yan eh. 8 lang yan. At tinitimpla rin nila kung yung endorse nila ay meron ding base sa kanilang probinsya. Or
Pero
meron ding
what do you think explains that? Kasi iba yung you will mix and match in the Senate kasi nga naman you get to choose 12. But minsan kasi officials would mix and match within alliances not outside the alliance so much But in this particular case in 2022, he was endorsing or his group was endorsing BBM Sara and then Risa across the fence.
Alam ko, magkaibigan din sila. Especially si Governor Rodito Albano. Naging mag-classmate yan sa Congress. No? At si Governor Albano at in a way si Governor D ay naging kaibigan din ni Pinoy.
Okay.
No? Natawa nga ako sa dalawang SONA ni Pinoy ay tinawag niya, pinatayo niya si Governor Albano twice. No? At ipinagmalaki niya yung mga infrastructure na ginawa ng kanyang gobyerno sa Isabela.
And the father was Marcos loyalist talaga. I remember in 1986 when Marcos was ousted, the Albano patriarch was firmly in the loyalist camp.
Yes, pero mukhang magkaklase sila sa high school ni Pinoy. No?
Yung anak.
Hindi, si Governor Albano.
Si Rodito.
Si Rodito.
Not the old man Albano, not the patriarch.
Na kaibigan ni Boji. So, ibig sabihin, merong mga may mga friendship circles. Na kahit magkaiba yung politika, on a personal level,
they all know each other.
Very close sa isa't isa. No?
So, si Boji is not only the first D to become speaker once he is elected, but he is also the first person from Isabela to hold the speakership
position.
Yeah. So it's a pretty big jump for him.
Yes.
And
Kaya nga medyo hesitant yung iba para magsalita na kakayanin niya. Like Congressman Benny Abante earlier this morning.
Hindi pa siya tested.
Yes.
Hindi pa siya masyadong kilala.
Yes. At ang speakership is the fourth highest position sa gobyerno.
What does that tell us about all the others who were bypassed? Bakit na-bypass si Congressman J.J. Suarez, for instance, who is senior deputy speaker?
Yeah.
Bakit na-bypass yung who were the others that were close to Speaker Martin Romualdez?
Siguro yung yung ibang na-bypass ay
si Jude Asidre, for instance.
Yung iba ay baka dahil masyadong madikit kay Speaker Martin. No? Ikalawa, yung ibang mga na-bypass or hindi na nagkaroon ng traction ay hindi acceptable sa mga kongresista, no? At ikatlo, yung pinaka-decisive na kahit magkahiwalay, independent
seal of approval
ng presidente, di ba?
But it's independent.
Sabihin mo na ulit.
Maputik yung kuweba ngayon.
It's supposed to be independent.
Walang bintana yung kuweba niyo.
So, yun yung mga tingin ko mga variables. Kaya yung iba ay na-bypass. Kumpara parang may confluence of factors para siya yung napili.
Oo. Because out of all the names that came up during this, when the rumors were going into overdrive about the leadership change, for instance, si Congressman Toby Tiangco, he already said outright, I'm not accepting it. Yes, tinanong siya, sabi niya, ayaw niya, and true enough, true to his word, he said no. That's what he says. Si Congressman Ronnie Puno, who is also a deputy speaker, if I'm not mistaken, hindi rin siya hindi rin siya napili, right? Congressman Albi Benitez, some people have said na because of his ties to online gambling, hindi siya bagay, hindi siya pwede. Sino pa ba?
Actually, kung titignan mo before the SONA, may tatlo na lumalabas ng mga pangalan. Si Deputy Speaker Frasco, si Albi Benitez, at saka si Toby Tiangco. Si Albi Benitez parang yung frontliner. Actively campaigning for speakership before the SONA. Pero pagdating ng SONA, he wasn't able to muster enough numbers and the support of Malacanang.
And he was saying
Na hiwalay.
there was black propaganda against him at that time,
Ano
supposedly.
yung black propaganda sa kanya?
Biglang ang daming chismis about his personal life, diba?
Like what?
I don't know. I don't follow showbiz.
Hindi naman yung showbiz yung yung lumabas na chismis eh.
Tapos last week naman, for more than a week, ang lumalabas na pangalan naman si Toby Chanco.
Oo, correct.
No? At ang alam ko, yung mga maraming congressman medyo galit dahil binabanatan nga ni Toby yung mga bumoto for impeachment. Binabanatan nila ang House na sinisisi niya na dahilan para dito sa failure ng alyansa sa Senate. No?
He's one of the most vocal.
At humarap siya sa Senate para banatan ang Congress. Medyo marami yata nag-react doon. No? Kaya hindi rin siya nakakuha ng enough numbers last week. Pero last weekend at saka last Monday, nababalitaan na natin na, oops, meron pang effort again. At this time, wala dun sa usual suspects. Yung mga lumalabas na pangalan. Parang, who? Congressman D? Sino siya? Di ba? Yung gano'n. Tapos hinaluan ng J.J. Suarez, hinaluan ng Ronnie Puno, pero panghalo na lang yon. Panghalo na lang yon. Dahil yung dalawa na yon ay very close kay Speaker.
Those other names were just to distract.
Hindi naman to distract, pero panghalo.
Okay.
Pero talaga, from the very start, last weekend, at saka last Monday, Boji na yung parang solid na alternative.
Ba't di mo sinabi yun?
Kumbaga at this point,
Hindi, sinabi ko kahapon. Sinabi ko kahapon kung hindi mo narinig.
pero at this point, parang he's the only one who ticked all the boxes basically. Kasi ang daming requirements. There are 3 major requirements, as you said. He was the only one that ticked all the boxes.
Yeah.
No? Kahit na, so I guess at some point they said, okay, kahit na untested, kahit na hindi masyado kilala, let's give him a chance.
Kung may kukumpara mo, yung ipinalit naman sa Senate ay tested, a veteran. No? He can hold his own. Paano, dati na siya naging Senate President, matagal na siyang senador, almost 30 years.
Oo. I mean, he was able to hold his own in the first clash with the minority bloc, right?
Oo, at marami yung bumalat sa kanya.
Oo, marami yun.
Yeah.
Uh, and si Boji,
papanoorin natin si Boji this
closely,
next few weeks. No?
because he is entering a very divided house.
And a very volatile political landscape.
But Bok, you have 300 people you have to manage. I mean, like we said nga, he's been under the radar for so long. 7 na taon na pala siyang naging congressman.
Well, mahalaga o obserbahan natin, sino ba yung team na bubuin niya around him? Sino mga crisis manager, sino mga networker, sino mga coalition builder,
o sinong
diba?
tagahampas.
Sinong attack dog. No?
Sino yung whip.
Yeah, so titingnan natin yan in the next few days. Habang hindi binabago yung mga positions. Paano i-declare lang na vacant is the speakership, not the other position.
The problem is, if he was not everyone's first choice, he's gonna have trouble convincing them to
well, yes and
to
no.
follow suit.
No, dahil nga,
Kasi yes, he got the blessing of the president, sure.
Yeah.
Pero it's another thing entirely to lead them in everyday decisions, right? To be able to
yes,
say,
kaya
okay,
nga, kung hindi ka tested, sino yung team around you na tutulong sa'yo habang nagkukang ka, nag-OJT?
Ay, OGT ba to? Okay, at this point, let's bring in Ami Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Hi, Ami. Quiet day na naman.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
Ami.
Exciting Wednesday.
Contrast to contrast
kagabi pa
tayo.
namin
Blue ako,
hinihintay yan
ikaw
eh.
icon na.
Kagabi naglalabas pa lang ng mga furniture doon sa opisina.
Talagang al sa balutan, ha?
Yung isa akala ko vault yung ilalabas yung pala refrigerator.
Kaya sabi ko, siguro marami-raming furniture yan. Di na siguro aabot ng midnight, ano? Kaya muwi na ako.
So nahabol niyo makagabi?
Si Chis Escudero nagwawarn, baka daw calculated diversion lang daw yan, ha? Para daw maabsuelto si speaker sa mga flood control, kaya nagsalita Malacanang. Sabi nila, hindi, kasama pa rin siya sa investigation ng flood control anomalies.
At saka, Ami, pag hindi ka na speaker, ay
You're vulnerable.
Mas vulnerable ka.
Yeah.
Yun na nga.
Oo.
Kaya nga. Yan ang sabi ng
mahirap
Malacanang.
i-distract.
I'm sure kasama yan sa pinag-usapan nila kagabi.
Okay,
Nawala ako.
here's the question. Did he resign or was he kicked out?
Well, nag-declare ng vacant
There's a
yung
huge
position
difference. No. I'm talking about the real deal,
Ah,
not the formalities. Did he resign or was he pushed out?
I don't think he wanted to leave.
Ayaw sagutin.
Di ba? What I heard was he was pleading until the last minute.
Wala naman akong narinig na ganun. Pero ang alam ko, kinausap siya na to mitigate itong handling ng
Mitigate
controversy.
talaga, mitigate.
To mitigate the
kailangan-
parang flood mitigation programs.
Yung
Parang
euphemisms are flying all around.
Kaya nga,
Disaster mitigation.
nalulunod tayo sa euphemisms. But okay.
Disaster mitigation.
Sa metaphors pala.
Ang tingin ko, hindi ito
Ronald,
kusang
hindi
loob.
ba yan,
Hindi
ano,
ito kusang
parang God
loob.
Save the
Kinausap
King?
siya.
Di ba yung
at,
parang family caucus yun eh? Kasi merong mga nagsasabi, bakit sisisihin nyo yung dalawang leader ng Congress nagpirma ng budget in the first place, si President Marcos. Merong mga ganong, mga ganong criticism eh.
Oo.
Diba?
Sorry, so
Kaya
you
alam mo
heard...
yung mga budget insertion and yung DBM, ngayon nga, sinasabit yung DBM. Umpisa pa lang pala, may hinihingi ng mga insertion.
You heard,
tingin ko
kinausap
hindi
siya.
ito voluntary dahil even before the SONA, may attempt na natanggalin siya. At lumaban siya. Last week, may attempt din natanggalin siya at lumaban siya. Pero at this point, this week, iba na yung configuration, iba na yung realignment, at iba na yung posisyon ng Malacanang. Kaya
Yes.
I'm almost sure he was asked to leave.
Tsaka
Pero siyempre, hindi natin alam dahil hindi naman tayo kasama sa usapan. No?
Tsaka as late as last week, he was rallying his troops around him, di ba? You had a parade of people going to the speaker's office, pledge their
Nagpa-loyalty checks
allegiance.
sila. Almost
Yes.
every day.
But-
Almost every
so
day.
I suppose it's safe to say that the clincher was the president's
na solidly behind
Correct.
the
Yeah.
speaker. Hindi ba? Halos
ang
araw-araw
dami.
may ganong press release galing sa House eh.
And,
Ibig
Wala
sabihin,
naman.
until the last minute, lumalaban siya to stay.
or was it that the people around him were trying to
Tingin ko
protect close ranks and protect him? Diba?
Yes, tingin ko kaya yung mga gustong paltan siya ay hindi nag-succeed dahil wala silang numero. Pero tingin ko this week, hindi na numero pinag-usapan. Yung suporta na ng kwan.
The number one.
Oo.
Malacanang.
Yun na yung
The number one.
yun na yung decisive element kaya siya nag-step down.
Lagi naman ganun dyan. Dati nga si Sara Duterte na gano'n, nagtanggal kay Speaker Alvarez eh.
But what do you think was the catalyst for the president to make that decision at this specific point? I mean, ilang linggo nung tumatakbo tong kontrobersya nito eh.
Well, definitely. The elephant in the room
Yung
is
mga rally.
the anti-corruption.
The rally.
Yeah, hindi lang rally.
Yung mga rallies na tuloy-tuloy.
Anti-corruption landscape. No, na pati
Ang
mga
paano yun
Zumba groups, pati mga alumni association,
Zumba
pati
groups?
mga
Yes.
pati mga
Yung Zumba
Ba't alam mo
group-
yun?
May Zumba group si Ronald.
Pumunta ako sa Batangas yung Zumba
Nanood ka ng Zumba?
Zumba against corruption, no? Lahat yan, sa
Yes,
21.
meron.
Zumba sa Cavite.
So
Zumba
Ronald,
against
makaka-diffuse
corruption.
ba ng galit, Ronald?
Fund run
Since
against
we know
corruption.
na involved ka sa,
Yung mga usual na
kilala mo
ginagawa
yung mga
ng mga
nagpo-protesta.
community na hindi naman
Makaka-diffuse
aktivista.
ba yan ng galit?
Diba? Hindi naman politicized. Ba, ngayon, very politicized sila. No? Lahat galit. Diba? Mga schools, Catholic schools, lalabas no? in their thousands para sumama rito. So, yung ganyang scale, pag hindi mo yan na-mitigate,
Namitigate.
ang tatamaan yan is the principal. Hindi yung principal dito, Yung principal dun sa Malacanang.
What did I do?
Yun ang tatamaan, di ba?
Ami, you missed the first hour of our conversation. To answer your question, kung maka-diffuse ba ito ng galit, essentially, ang sagot ni Ronald is, it's uncertain at this point. Kasi itong si Boji D is untested, untried, and he is not a very well-known lawmaker.
May graft case siya related to a public works project. Pero road, hindi flood control.
Oo. Tapos,
It's a road project, 1.3 billion, At sabi ng mga nagdemanda, the road daw was leading to his family's resort.
Yan, hindi rin,
Merong ganong mga istorya.
hindi rin natin alam yan masyado, Ami. No? Pero yung mahalaga kasi rito ay alam natin na yung corruption is endemic and institutional. Hindi siya pwedeng parang papatayin lang na parang bumbero. So, yung mga tao na nagigising ngayon will look for a more long-term, deeper solution sa corruption. Hindi lamang yung pang-mitigate. No?
Again.
Yun yung hahanapin nila.
So the answer is to sacrifice your cousin at the altar of your
Ang
anti-corruption
tanong ay,
campaign.
Baka it's not enough.
God
Kinakailangan
save the king
maraming
na eh.
makasuhan,
Di ba?
maraming makulong, no, at maraming mga proposed reforms. Halimbawa, I'm almost sure ang isang ipopropose dito sa leadership ni Boji ay yung pagtanggal ng mga insertions dun sa small committee. Kalawa, pagtigil ng
Well, tinanggal na yung small committee. Remember, yeah.
Tanggal yung pagtigil ng lahat ng mga flood control projects for now dito sa budget na ito. So, yan ay magiging bahagi ng leadership change na i-offer sa mga nagagalit na tao. Ang tanong, ito ba ay just an escape valve para doon sa steam na lumabas or ito ay long-term reforms? Mahirap mag long-term reform dahil yung term ng presidente hanggang 2028 lang.
3 years. He's got 3 years. Okay. Let us bring in our first guest this afternoon.
Congressman Zia Alonto Adjong. Sir, magandang hapon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Congressman.
Magandang
Yes,
hapon,
magandang
Congressman.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Uy, thanks for joining us right after you voted, ha?
Yes.
Ano po yung boto natin?
I think ongoing po yung votation hanggang ngayon.
Kayo po,
yeah.
what vote did you cast?
Well, I voted for D. Faustino D as the new
Hindi kayo
speaker.
bumoto kay Kong Barsaga?
Yes.
Ano po?
Hindi kayo bumoto kay Congressman Barsaga?
Well, ito isa lang ho yung na-nominate. Wala hong ibang nomination.
Pasensya na, Congressman Adjong.
Nagpapatawa lang, Kong. Nagpapatawa lang. Para ma-relax lang tayo.
Well, sir, we were tossing around the question of whether or not Congressman D, we know that he's been around for quite a while in Congress, in the previous Congresses.
3
But
terms, no?
do you think he would be able to manage 317 congressmen, considering that I think this is his first major role
National politics.
in national politics?
Well, we're optimistic naman since that, well, he's a returnee congressman. I think he served for 3
9 years,
consecutive terms in the previous
Matagal
Congress.
na.
So yes, he's already familiar with the ins and outs of the House. And as far as the current membership of the House right now, meron kasing there's an agreement or there's a party leaders caucuses for each party. So ibig sabihin, for the support of the majority to be able to be ventilated to any of the leaders that are elected, pinag-usapan po yan in every party caucuses. So with the support naman of the House and with the party leaders, I'm sure Speaker-elect D, kasi he's now presumed to be the next speaker kasi wala naman pong nomination, will be able to cross over itong smooth transition of power from Speaker Martin to him as the new Speaker of the House. So I'm confident that he can be able to push for the agenda of this administration forward kasi ultimately naman ang House of Representatives, it's how you can build the understanding between and among the members of the House so that you can build consensus and lay down what are the priorities for this 20th Congress to put forward.
Kong, kamusta ang klima dyan sa House? No? Masaya, malungkot, mixed, indifferent. Dahil siyempre, 3 years, Speaker si Martin Romualdez, no?
Before pa, 19th Congress.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, it's, to be honest with you, it's quite somber, no? Kasi siyempre, in every organization naman, pag may mga major changes, especially the head of the organization, talaga may impact talaga sa mga members, even mga regular employees. So it's an adjustment, and we understand that it's human nature, no. But we are at the same time, we are also optimistic that with this new leadership and with the support of the majority of the House, those agenda that have left hanging pa in the 90th Congress. Remember, during the incumbency of Speaker Martin Romualdez, we were able to 100% deliver all the LEDA priorities of this administration, and some of those priority agenda were overtaken by time. So I believe with the support of we are also optimistic that they can be finally be carried over in the leadership now of Speaker-elect D. So it's quite somber, at the same time optimistic, no? Dahil in every, sabi nga nila may kanta dyan eh, every new beginning comes from somebody else's end, diba? So it's a cycle of life. It's how things naturally will go. But at the end of the day, ang pag-usapan talaga is how can we put forward this country's the agenda of this administration, and to make sure that the country would go forward as as we should, no.
Congressman, nabanggit niya
Yes,
yung
po.
yung
Yes,
moving
po,
forward kasi apart from leadership change, actually ang inaasahan ng mga tao is meaningful reforms, no? Emanating especially from the House of Representatives. Ano po yung pwede naming maasahan na siguradong mga pagbabago under the new leadership?
Well, sa ngayon po, it has already been initiated, no? Kasi we're still deliberating the 2026 NEP, National Expenditure Program. And one of the major changes which the past former Speaker Martin Romualdez initiated and introduced is to open the process of budgeting, to make it more transparent for CSOs, ordinary people, to be involved in the identification and yung mga dapat na mga programa, magtanong sila kung bakit kailangan itong programa, mag-introduce sila kung ano yung pangangailangan ng kanilang community, up to the last stretch. No, we are hoping that in the BICAM that it's going to also be open for the public, for the CSOs to sit down, and then making sure that all the errata or probably the insertions or sinasabi nating adjustment in some entries in the budget would also reflect and will also incorporate yung mga panawagan ng ating mga kababayan para doon sa kanilang budget, because ultimately this is the budget of the people. So that's one thing, I guess, and I should also advise the new leadership of the House to carry on and continue on, kasi magandang reforma po itong sinasabi natin pong pag-o-open sa ating budget, not just the BICAM, but from the very moment that we receive the NEP, it should be open to the public. Kasi pinaka-importante talaga ho na piece of legislation and every year is the National Expenditure Program, because it speaks of the needed expenditure for the entire bureaucracy of our government. So I advise that it should be kept and should be institutionalized.
Akong, nabanggit nyo nga nasa gitna kayo ng budget process. Maliban dun sa transparency at saka open budget process na na-propose ni Speaker Martin with the opening of Congress after the SONA, ay ano pa bang mga fundamental changes yung tingin nyo without second-guessing the new Speaker? Ano yung mga fundamental changes dito sa budget process, dito sa process ng bills, ang gagawin ng House? Dahil mahalaga yan dito sa present volatile situation natin, na kayo yung tinatarget ng mga protest, no? So, anong tingin nyo yung magiging fundamental changes dito sa prosesong ito?
Well, number one, let's go back to the budget. I think it's now high time that we introduce the digitalization from the time that these programs or these projects are being requested from each department up to the time that it's collated, and as a result, NEP, and then ipapasa po dito sa House of Representatives. Actually, may panukala na po yan, and I'm also planning to file for a bill that will digitalize to make sure that kung meron pong mga errata or mga changes or adjustment, dapat malaman po natin sino talaga yung sino po talaga yung sponsor nito, no? Para malaman po natin, baka naman talaga kailangan yung ganitong klaseng adjustment sa isang proyekto, sa bibigay sa isang lugar, so that we can finally make use of the word transparent. Kasi syempre, kailangan din ho natin malaman kung ito bang mga adjustments na to when it comes to projects and programs, if the budget reaches the BICAM, talagang this is based on the actual need of the community, no? Para po makita natin kung ano ba talaga yung dapat na continuously na pupondohan ng ating gobyerno, no? Kasi sa ngayon, itong mga issue ng mga arata, in fact, I'm pretty sure you're aware of this. Itong couple of weeks ago, meron pang request no less than the President to review the budget of the Public Works and Highways. Remember, we had the initial budget briefing last week. And when Vince Dizon presented the budget, sabi niya, I cannot defend that because that's not my budget. So we had to give him some more time to review his budget and then make some necessary changes. So I guess kailangan talaga natin ma-institutionalize yung digitalization so that we can not only track down with the request of each budget entries from each departments of each sponsors, but as well as to make sure that the changes or the adjustments, once we receive that, the NEP, should also reflect and should not be changed and should be shown to the public kasi nakasecure na po yan through digital imprint.
Yeah.
So I think that's one that we really need to institutionalize. No, kung gusto talaga natin na itong budget na to ay budget talaga ng ating taong bayan.
Congressman Adyong, I know you're keen to move on. You're looking forward to the future, to the reforms, pero I just want to backtrack a little bit and talk about what just happened with the leadership change in the House, kasi there are some gaps in the story that I'm not seeing. I interviewed you on The Big Story, I think maybe 7-8 days ago, and at that time, you were saying that all of you are solidly behind Speaker Martin Romualdez, and there's no coup, there's no talks of leadership change at that time. After I spoke to you, we also spoke to other congressmen, all of whom said, no, that's just rumors. It's not true that the House is thinking of a leadership change. So what happened there?
Well, there's no coup kasi the president, the speakers, stepped down. Hindi naman he was not ousted, he was not outvoted by anyone. It was his personal decision to step aside and allow someone else to take the helm, leadership of the House of Representatives. So there's no coup. There are quite a few who are, who ambition na gusto nila maging speaker. I'm sure tinanong nga ako ni Sir Llamas kung sino yung binoto ko ba. Yung isa, kasi isa yun sa very clear na talagang gusto niya maging speaker, si Congressman Kiko Berganza, but no one nominated him. So in terms of people aiming for the leadership, I think there are quite few members now who are also ambitioning to be the next speaker, but it's simply they could not master numbers. So they could not simply just put forward their names and then master a number and then be able to challenge the current status. What we're seeing right now is actually a result of the speaker's personal decision to step down. So practically there's no coup. It was his personal decision to move and to allow to choose the institution over self, no? Para po dahil alam naman po natin talagang sa ngayon kaliwat kanan yung atake po sa institution. So he deemed it necessary that he would choose the institution above self. So that's the reason why he stepped down, and then eventually for the election of a new speaker.
What about for you, Kong? At what point did you find out that he was going to do that?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, yesterday. I think mga medyo paggabi na po yun. And we were told that there's that he decided to step down.
Pero sir, how much of a role or influence did Malacanang have over what happened today or what's happening today? I mean, I'm sorry, I have to ask the obvious kasi
Independent branch of government.
kasi it's always been said that the speaker is yes elected by members of Congress majority, but he's almost always, if not always, selected ahead of time by Malacanang.
Well, I wanted to answer you with a straight and give you a straight answer, but you know, baka maging ano ako, fake news peddler ako. The reason why I'm saying this is because I wasn't really privy of how Malacanang intervened in this issue. All I know is that we, as far as the members of Lakas, CMD is concerned, we are all behind the Speaker Martin Romualdez, and there's no coup. Well, there were quite a handful of members who wanted to be speaker and challenge his leadership. But as to when, on how, and where did Malacanang come into picture, that I cannot say because I do not have any information regarding that. So,
yes, sir.
Well,
Fair
I
enough.
wouldn't really, I cannot give you a straight answer.
Yes, sir.
What's the most important thing is today we have shown that there's a peaceful transfer of power. That the former speaker Martin Romualdez chose the institution over himself, his interest.
What about-
Pero sir, if I may, sir, one more. Of course, Congress does not operate in the vacuum. The issue is not in a vacuum. One of the bigger political elements here is the rage out in the streets right now. I'm wondering lang if you think this action today will be enough to douse or to pour water over the fires erupting all over the place, over the corruption issue.
Well, obviously, I think the reason why Speaker Martin Romualdez has decided to step down is partly because of that, because of the public outcry and the public sentiment over the anomalous flood control projects. Tama po kayo. Hindi naman po tayo, lahat naman tayo ay nakikinig sa mga balita at alam naman po natin na isa po sa naging decision niya personally, kaya nga po siya nag-step down, is isa na po itong mga atake sa House. That's why he felt that in order to save the institution, he has to step aside. So your guess po in observation is quite perfectly right, no? Tama po 'yun. That would also include among the things that he has considered ay ito pong growing sentiment ng for accountability itong ating mga kababayan. But let's also look at the positive side in all of these things, no? Una, meron na pang Independent Commission for Infrastructure, no? So this is also a way to support the President's call for a thorough investigation. Nagsabi nga po ang ating Presidente na no one will be spared. No? So I think it's part of him being a public servant and allowing that will of justice to move, no, without necessarily having to use whatever closeness or relation he has with the president, so that it can also be fully, the president can also fully request or allow the Independent Infrastructure Commission to go on its to operate without any selection or any reservation. So I guess that's something that we should also credit the speaker for. Na yung siya mismo nag-step aside so that whatever investigation that might happen, hindi niya magagamit at hindi naman sasabihin ng taong bayan na ginagamit ang pwesto ng institution na ito para para ilihis yung usapin. So we should give him also that credit.
Congressman Dio, just very quickly,
with the leadership change, may isa pang issue na tinatanong mga tao. Dahil yung impeachment ni Vice President Duterte nililink sa personal na agenda daw ni former speaker, no? Sa ngayon, meron pa bang appetite with the leadership change? Sa tingin niyo meron pang appetite ang House to proceed with the impeachment, either kung ma-reverse ng Supreme Court or kung magre-refile ng impeachment complaint kung sakasakali? Meron pa bang ganong sentimiento sa House?
Ang pananagutan po, Ma'am Ami, ay hindi po nakadepensa yan o nakadepende kung sino nauupo sa pwesto. Ang pananagutan ay pananagutan. At we were able to prove in the last Congress na meron talagang nagawang of violation, no, na tantamount to betrayal of public trust. I think that's very clear, no. We don't need to go back to the earlier the documents and the evidences that we had. And although I want to answer you further, give you further answers, pero may MR po tayo sa Supreme Court ngayon, so
Yes.
natin gusto magkaroon ng ng sub judice na sinasabi po. But definitely po, we have already secured, and many of the former members of the last Congress are still members of this House, no? So I'm pretty sure should there be any issue, halimbawa lalabas po ang Supreme Court ng kanilang final decision, and again, we will wait for that. Ang akin pong posisyon ay dahil sa hanggang ngayon, karamihan po sa mga pumirma nung impeachment na yon, complaint na yon ay miyembro din po ng House of Representatives. Sure, in the event that there should be another impeachment case also to be filed in this Congress, I'm quite optimistic that they will again fix their signatures, because pananagutan is pananagutan, no matter, hindi ko nakadepende yan kung sino pong naupo sa pwesto.
Congressman
Okay.
Zia, what about your own future? Will you stay deputy majority leader? Do you know what's going on there?
Well, in an office like this, it's a deliberative body. Everything depends on the consensus of the members. If the majority feels that I'm no longer useful to them, wala ho tayong magagawa. Anything can happen, but ako naman ay gusto ko kung paano makatulong in whatever capacity I can support the leadership, since I have already voted for Speaker D. So I am offering my services as one of the members of this House to be able to support whatever agenda he has na makakatulong sa ating taong bayan, lalo na sa aking distrito. So nothing is cast in stone naman talaga, di ba? Anything can happen. But we hope for the best, and we hope that the speakership of Faustino D would also be smooth and would also be more progressive for not only for the House in its entirety, but for the country as well.
Kong, under the leadership of new Speaker Bogie D, magpapatuloy ba itong mga investigation nyo under the TRICOM, under the Quadcom, etc.? Dahil
Well,
siyempre, yung mga committees na yan, nabuo yan at nailunsad nung leadership ni Speaker Martin Romualdez. Pero with the new leadership, yan ba ay magpapatuloy?
Yung sa TRICOM, hindi naman po siya na-terminate. So, as a matter of procedure and as a matter of rule, tuloy-tuloy naman po yan. Kasi hindi pa naman po talaga nag-adjourn at hindi pa na-terminate yung TRICOM. So, definitely there's going to be another TRICOM committee hearing. Kasi you have to wrap up and you really have to formally terminate itong TRICOM na to. As to the Quad, hindi pa naman siya nakukonvene. So, I don't know. That would also depend on the decision of the leadership. Kung ano po yung magiging takbo ng Quad na to. But kung meron pong mga resolutions pertaining to the old and yung hanging questions that were discussed in the previous Quad, that I think some members would deem important to be discussed. Lalo na po yung mga sinasabi natin, yung mga, kasi according sa mga police reports, itong mga missing sabongeros are connected doon sa mga EJKs, etc. So if it also warrants, looking into possible violations of certain laws, because ang Quadcom naman at saka maski anong hearing naman is in aid of legislation. Titingnan po talaga natin kung ano yung mga na-violate na batas, kailangan mo natin strengthen ng batas, and to recommend sanctions to those officials or officers who have violated these laws. So that would depend on the collective decision of the House. We hope that the House would continue on this new leadership. I hope that it will continue on making sure that those crimes that were committed previously or currently being committed right now should be addressed, which should be addressed, and should stop we should stop the culture of impunity. Kasi we're talking about accountability. Let's talk about accountability in its real sense. No? So sana, to give you a straight answer, dun sa TRICOM, I'm sure magpapatuloy po yan, 1 or 2 additional committee hearings. But as to the quad, that would depend on the decision of the leadership.
The voting has just finished at the lower house. You're looking at live pictures of that right now. Hindi ko pa sure what the final number is, but safe to say, I think, at this point that we have a new Speaker of the House for the 20th
Formally.
Congress, formally.
Yeah.
Bok, Pabo lang, one more question for Congressman Jong. Sir, what are you hearing? Will there be any other changes down the line maliban kay Speaker? For example, deputy speakers, committee heads, and vice chairman. Any changes at all? What are you hearing?
Sa ngayon po wala pong changes since na ang transfer naman po talaga ng authority ay by virtue of the speaker deciding to step down, wala namang election. So sa ngayon walang major changes or walang major adjustments sa mga committees at saka sa leadership positions. So antabayan na lang po natin, but the way I looked at it, kasi meron pong mga party leader caucuses. So I think pretty much the leadership positions, the deputy speakers as well as committee chairmanship will still remain. Kasi allocation po yan ng 4 party seats. Yes po.
Kong?
Pahabol ko rin lang po, Congressman, isa na lang.
Yes
Yung
po, Baba.
yung meron kasing merong nag-initiate nung mag-release ng SALN, yung 3 akbayan members. Ano po yung mood sa House, yung majority? May balak bang mag-issue ng siguro yung persuasive statement from the leadership, o kung na i-release na natin yung SALN natin? Meron bang gano'n? Ano yung reaction ng mga congressmen doon?
Of course, yung sa SALN naman, it's a personal decision naman for each member. So we cannot speak for the entirety of the House.
Yeah.
If they feel that they need to show their SALN or to ipakita po nila that that's their business, that's their concern, but as to whether or not some members would have to show their SALN as yung 3 akbayan, that would also depend on how each party leaders would decide on, kasi ito pong mga sinasabi natin dito currently sa 20th Congress, nabuo kasi yung mga party leaders caucuses. So each party would have to handle his own members, its own members. So depende po yan kung ano magiging trajectory ng bawat party leadership, But again, it's really a personal choice, for each individual congressman. So for those who show their SALN, it does not necessarily mean that they are more patriotic than the ones who do not. It's not their choice to not to show their SALN. So it's ganun po talaga. It's a personal decision on their part.
Kung napag-usapan natin earlier, how yung outrage, anger tungkol dito sa mga controversy sa flood control projects, ghost projects, insertions of both houses, etc., how it impacted on the leadership, hindi lamang sa Congress, kundi pati sa Senate. Parang may isa pang elephant in the room na nangyari a week ago nung naglabas ng statement si Secretary of National Defense Gibo Teodoro at Armed Forces Chief of Staff Browner tungkol sa loyalty check ng ating armed forces sa gobyerno at sa presidente, lalo na nung nagsalita yung ilang mga Duterte groups calling for a withdrawal of support. Yan ba ay together dito sa mga outrage sa kalsada ay nag-i-impact din dito sa usapin ng leadership change sa House, itong mga extra constitutional threats na nagkakalat all over the place at sinagot ng Secretary of National Defense at Armed Forces Chief of Staff?
Well, lahat naman po ng nangyayari po sa ating lipunan, lalong-lalo na if we see a series of demonstration, would also call for attention of each of the departments, especially the Security Council. And we laud the DND and the Chief of Staff, AFP Chief of Staff for maintaining yung non-partisanship ng ating mga kasundaluhan. Kasi ang pinaka-importante naman talaga ay hindi ito mag-conflagrate itong problema na to a point na magkaroon tayo ng hindi kanais-nais na mangyayari tulad ng nangyari sa Indonesia, ano pong nangyari sa Nepal. All of us, regardless whether you are you're from this political side or that political side, I think we both agree that that's the last thing that we want to see is our entire bureaucracy crumbling down, like what's happening in Indonesia, what has happened in Nepal. That's the last thing that we want to do. Of course, it warrants the national attention. It warrants our government, no, especially our security agencies and sectors, to look into these problems and to mitigate whatever the possible consequence of this itong mass demonstration. Kasi it happened we are in a time where our neighbors are also having the same problems, tapos nagkakaroon ng ganong klaseng demonstration up to a point like in Nepal na may namatay na. So tama lang po na ganun yung maging response ng ating kasundaluhan, kapulisan at saka national defense to make sure to appease the public that these are just demonstrations and the exercise of their freedom to express their sentiments, no. It's also a way to show maturity of our institution, na yung Constitution, no matter how big or how often these demonstrations are, is just an expression of how matured our democracy is in this country. That we can go out in the streets, speak our piece without necessarily resorting to violence. So it's a healthy way of looking at it. This is how I looked at it, and I guess it's good that the AFP and the DND also came out with that statement. So, ito pong lahat ng nangyayari ngayon sa ating politika, bungso na nga po ito ng ating desire ng ating mga taong bayan to hold the government accountable and to be more transparent about the government transaction as well as government services that would really affect the people on the ground.
Okay. We'll leave that there and we'll go back to the plenary hall at the lower house to try to see what the final numbers look like. But it looks like you have a new Speaker of the House. Congratulations and thank you for
joining us. Kailangan ko bumalik doon.
Oh my, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Congressman.
Salamat po, Ma'am. Thank you very much po.
Sur, 1st District, Congressman Zia Alonto Adyong, also Deputy Majority Leader. They are now tallying the votes at the lower house. There won't be any surprises because, of course, Congressman Boji D was the only nominee. We know that Congressman Kiko Barzaga abstained. And we also know that Congressman Marcoleta was given a point of order because he tried to explain his vote. Ang instructions today was just to cast your vote without explanation, and apparently Congressman Marcoleta tried to talk about reforms and talk about how they need change.
Pero boto niya eventually?
I'm not sure. I have to go back to the video because
we're looking at
we were on air.
Video of Congressman
OGD.
So once he is formally voted in, he will be given his oath, and after which he is expected to deliver a speech, his first address to the 20th Congress as the Speaker of the House.
Andun din si Congressman Albano. Sabi niya.
Which one is he? Congressman
yung naka-suit, naka-gray
nasa kanan.
Yeah.
Yung umayos ng kwelo niya.
Sino yung katabi?
Inayos yung kwelo ni Congressman.
Talaga?
Inayos kanina.
Close sila, magkakaibigan yan. At saka Deputy Speaker yan. Senior Deputy Speaker. Si Albano. Ni Speaker Martin Romualdez.
Both from the major political families of Isabela.
Ilan yan yung interesting. Interesting din yan. Kung ilan yung nag-abstain.
Talking about Albano, so kanina we were talking about how si Congressman D doesn't have a lot of scandals to his name, right? So medyo malinis pa siya tingnan publicly. But remember as well, we were saying that the Ds and the Albanos have governed Isabela for decades. Nagpapalit lang sila, but these families...
Minsan nag-aaway.
Or minsan nag-aaway, but they have been there forever. Remember as well, on August 19th, I just dug up the transcript. August 19, right here in StoryCon, we interviewed Governor Rodito Albano of Isabela.
Yeah.
And we asked him, kasi Isabela was number 3 on President Marcos's list of provinces that got the most number of flood control projects. 341 yung nakuha ng Isabela. And we asked him what he thought of that. Governor Albano said, masama loob ko dyan kasi dapat number 1 kami. Instead of number 3.
Kasi malaki nga daw problema nila.
Dapat number 1 kami. Talagang flood prone ng Isabela and Cagayan. We have the Cagayan River, don't forget. But also, when we asked him, bakit hindi nagbago over the years? How come there's been no improvement? He says, well, bakit kami sisisihin? Unang-una, hindi nanggaling sa amin yung pondo. Pangalawa, hindi kami nag-determine yan. Ang nag-determine ng pondo is yung national government. Kasi kung titingnan mo nga, billion-billion yung pondo nyo, wala naman kaming ganun eh. So, what I'm trying to...
Hindi maharlagmay ng Project NOAA.
What I'm trying to put...
Dahil kaya daw ganyan yan.
Yung LGU
Kaya
daw.
daw ganyan yan. Yung paggawa ng flood control doon, hindi ginawang master plan along the Cagayan River.
Yes, correct.
Dami-dami daw ganon.
Oo, correct. Pero what I'm trying to point out here, Ami, is if your family has been in power this long, tapos you're still blaming the national government, and the national government in turn blames the local government. What does that say about you? Right? So again, if we've already established that the family has been in power for this long, or the Albanos have been as well, tapos nung kinausap natin si Governor Albano, yun yung sinabi niya, national government naman yung naglagay ng pondo, hindi nila kasalanan yun, they're pointing fingers at each other. Basically, right?
Baka pareho lang silang
the flooding situation...
Nakikita natin ngayon sa gulo.
Oo, it hasn't improved.
Lahat naman pare-pareho. DPWH, local. Sabi nga ng mga scientist you have to build with nature. Hindi naman daw natin sinusunod dyan. Puro political division daw yung mga yung pag-deal with the flood mitigation projects.
Remember as well that before Congressman Boji D went back to Congress, he was governor of Isabela.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, wala na silang excuse ngayon. Dahil ang sinasabi nila, yung LGU ay wala masyadong role sa NEP. Pero ngayon, wala na silang excuse dahil for the first time, may tiga Isabela na nasa national government. Diba? Wala pa namang Isabela na naging senador, di ba? Pero ngayon, may tiga Isabela na number 4 sa line of succession. The 4th most powerful position. Wala silang may gagawang excuse kung bakit walang master plan. Dahil yung master plan ay nanggagaling sa DPWH. Yung master plan ay nanggagaling sa national government.
Pati yung DPWH...
Pwede siguro utusan na niya ngayon, na ayusin nyo nga yan. Pwede na niyang utusan.
But how believable is it ba talaga when the LGU people say that walang
coordination, exactly.
Na wala kaming kinalaman dyan, sila lang gumagawa.
Well, kailangan pa natin i-test yan dahil yan din ang sabi ni Governor Daniel Fernando sa Bulacan. No?
Tapos sa Oriental.
Yan din yung sabi sa Oriental Mindoro nung pinuntahan niya. Hindi namin alam itong mga proyektong ito, di ba? So, it could be yes and no. No?
Kasi also wonder, how can you not know what's happening?
Ang sinasabi ko nga,
exactly my question.
Ang sinasabi ko nga, you may know it, pero wala kang power. Yun yung iba yun ang iba.
Sila lang nakakaalam.
That's also true.
Dahil ang nagpapasya dyan, hindi naman yung local.
But on the other hand, then, as the LG, as the father of the province, you also have a certain amount of influence, and you can make noise.
Yes.
If something's happening in your own
pero
backyard.
nagbabari yan, depende sa iba't ibang mga LGUs. May mga LGUs na malapit sa kusina, may mga LGUs na malayo, no, at particular moments. Pero ang sinasabi lang naman nila, hindi kami kasama sa paggawa ng NEP, hindi rin kami kasama sa pag-approve ng budget, na medyo totoo naman. No? Pero yung information, nagbabari yan. Dahil dapat man lang kung ikaw ay governor, dapat man lang mangulit ka, di ba? Pero katulad nga sa Oriental Mindoro, talagang hindi niya alam. No, sinasabi niya.
Sa kung papansin mo, bungi-bungi yung project na tumatalon-talon, then as the father of the province, hindi raise it.
Halimbawa, doon sa distrito ni Richard Gomez, talagang galit na galit yung mga mayors na hindi sila nakonsulta. Ibig sabihin mga LGUs. No? At sila nga yung nagreklamo.
Depende sa relationship ng district representative sa LGU.
Dahil wala silang powers to decide. Yun yung malinaw. Yung information is another thing. No?
Let me quote Governor Albano directly again. Again, for those interested, this is a August 19 episode ng Storycon. Sabi niya, alam mo minsan, naging congressman din ako, minsan pagalingan ng kuha ng budget yan kasi kulang sa district mo. Yung mga congressmen, syempre, pasikatan din yan kung gusto mo ma-re-elect next year, paglalaban mo yung pondo na dadalhin mo sa lalawigan ng probinsya. There we go. So, an outright admission na pag congressman ka, pasikatan yan, pagalingan ng kuha ng budget.
Merong insertions.
Again, come back to the point of if you've been in national government and you've been in local government representing the same area, how can you not know what's going on? So, I'm not saying na may kinalaman siya sa mga contractors or anything, but what I'm saying is his background really as clean as we think?
Yeah. Kaya ang sabi ko,
Malalaman natin in the coming days. Yung mga naglalabasan na nga ngayon.
Very clean. Katulad ni Ed Lingao. O ni Manny Bugato. No?
Ano ko, purist?
Pero
Parang
pinapapimbestigahan daw niya yung
collapse na
nalaglag
tulay?
na
The
nag-collapse
votes
na
are in.
bridge
Ilan?
sa Isabela.
253 votes.
Pinapaimbestigahan niya.
Okay.
Di ba yung mga gumawa ng tulay, ang mas gusto nila, JICA ang gumawa, yung local. Pero ang DPWH, ang gusto sila.
Ayan na.
I understand 253 votes in favor of Congressman D. And yan, nagkakamayan na. Well, wala naman siya kalaban
250?
253. But let's get a confirmation there. We just were told by the producer that it's 253 votes. Kung ilan ang abstention, we're waiting for that.
Marami abstention, ha?
Oh, well, you have Kiko Barzaga already. Ilan?
18.
1-8.
18 lang.
Abstention.
18 lang abstention.
And 253 for Boji D, tama ba?
Meron bang against? Pwede bang ganon?
Wala bang
Oo
gusto?
nga, may against ba o absent lang sila?
Absent only. So again, the
absent
numbers
lang,
are 253 for Boji D. Is that correct? And then 18 abstaining and
Abstain?
walang against.
Walang
The
against.
rest are absent.
Ang dami absent sa kanila.
I think most of those who abstained will go to the minority.
The Honorable Benitez is invited
the
to
Senate.
the rostrum to administer the oath of office of the Speaker. May we request all the members of the House to rise.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Faustino Boji D. III,
of the,
of the 6th District of Isabela,
having been elected as
Speaker of the House of Representatives,
hereby solemnly swear that I will well and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability
I will well and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability
the duties of my present position and of all others I may hereafter hold under the Republic of the Philippines.
the duties of my present position and all of our others may hereafter hold under the Republic of the Philippines.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines.
I will defend, support the Constitution of the Philippines.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And that I will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees promulgated by the duly constituted authorities of the Republic of the Philippines.
And that I will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees promulgated by the duly constituted authorities of the Republic of the Philippines.
And that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Faustino Boji D. III, will now address the body.
To the honorable members of this august chamber, the 20th Congress, mga kababayan, magandang hapon sa ating pong lahat. Ako po'y lubos na nagpapasalamat sa mga kasama kong mambabatas sa House of Representatives sa paghalal ninyo sa akin bilang Speaker. Hindi ko po ito inaasahan. Matapos ang ilang dekadang paninilbihan bilang lingkod bayan mula pa kabataang barangay hanggang gobernador ng Isabela, inakala ko na ang susunod na yugto ng aking buhay ay para sa aking pamilya. Ngunit, ibang daan ang inilatag ng ating Panginoon. Dinala niya po ako muli dito sa Kongreso upang mas higit pang palawakin ang aking paglilingkod. Aminado po ako, meron po akong pangamba sa aking dibdib habang iniisip ko ang hamon na katungkulang inaatang sa aking balikat. Patid ko po na marami sa ating mga kababayan ang nasasaktan at nagagalit na dahil sa mga kasalukuyang kaganapan. Naiintindihan ko po kayo. Bilang anak ng lalawigan ng Isabela, alam na alam ko po ang mga pagsubok na dala ng matinding bagyo, ang pagkasira ng mga bahay at buhay tuwing tumataas ang tubig baha. Sa ngalan nila, tinatanggap ko ng buong kababang loob ang hamon ng pagiging Speaker of the House. Ako na ho ang unang magsasabi sa ating mga kababayan. Meron po kaming pagkukulang. Kami po ay nagpapakumbaba sa inyo. Nakikiusap po kami na sana bigyan nyo kami ng pagkakataong ituwid ang mga maling kalakaran at linisin ang aming hanay. Nakikiusap po kami na magbigyan niyo pa kami ng tsansang makuha muli ang inyo pong tiwala. Ako po ay kaisa ng ating mahal na Pangulo sa kanyang layunin na linisin ang pamahalaan upang tayo ay bumangon muli. Under my leadership, this House will change. I will not defend the guilty, and I will not shield the corrupt. Gaya ng paninindigan ng ating Pangulo, no rank, no ally, no office will be spared from accountability. We must strengthen the Oversight Committee and fully cooperate with the Independent Commission of Infrastructure. Our duty is not to protect each other. Our duty is to protect the Filipino people. Alam kong maaaring maging puno ito ng panganib. Dahil sa mga maaaring matapakan, sinusugal ko ang aking pangalan na matagal ko pong pinagpaguran. Yayakapin ko ang sakripisyong ito nang maibsan ang mas mabigat na sakripisyong kinakaharap ng ating mga kababayan. Malinaw sa akin na higit matimbang ang aking pananagutang itaguyod ng ating saligang batas at unahin ang kapakanan ng mas nakakarami. Hindi ko hayaan ang sino man na membro dito sa 20th Congress na gamitin ng Kongreso para sa kanyang personal na interes. Panahon na nang ituon natin ang ating paningin sa mga pangailangan ng ating mga kababayan. Sila ang rason kung bakit tayo naririto. Huwag sana po natin kalimutan yan. Sila ang unahin natin bago ang pangsariling kapakanan. Kung meron pong dapat na managot sa mga umuugong na mga paratang na ito, titiyakin natin na magiging patas ang mga pagdinig at kung meron mang mga pangalang nabanggit sa mga pagdinig na ito, may mga tamang forum para sila ay makapagpaliwanag. Tayo po ay magiging transparent at accountable sa ating mga gawain. Kung kinakailangan, makipag-ugnayan sa mga naglalabas ng saloobin, ako po mismo ang harap para makipag-usap. Makikinig po kami sa daing ng ating mga mamamayan. Makikinig po kami sa inyong mga boses. Ito lang ang paraan para lumabas ang pawang katotohanan at dito lang masisimulang matanggal ang agam-agam ng ating mga kababayan. Sa mga kasamahan ko sa Kongreso, magtatagumpay lamang po tayo kung tayo'y magkakaisa upang makamit ang hangaring ito. Buo po ang aking paniniwala na mas nakakarami sa ating mga kasamahan ang nangangarap at handang magtrabaho ng tapat para mapabuti ang ating bansa. Hindi ko po magagawa itong na nag-iisa. Kailangan ko po kayo. Kailangan po natin ang bawat isa. Kaya kukunin ko itong pagkakataon na to na ipabot sa ang ating pong pasasalamat sa dating speaker sa kanyang bukas palad na pakikipagtulungan para maisakatuparan ang isang maayos na transisyon at natatanging hangarin na ito. Sa tulong ninyo, sisiguraduhin natin na ang bawat sentimo ng paglalaanan ng budget sa bawat departamento ay tutugma sa pangangailangan ng mamamayang Pilipino. Pagtutulungan nating makapagpasa ng isang maayos at malinis na budget na mailalaan lamang tama sa mga programa para sa ating taong bayan. May mga hakbang nang ginawa upang gawing mas bukas ang proseso ng pagpasa ng budget at mas paigtingin pa natin ito. Ako po ay handang makinig sa iba't iba nating tinig upang higit nang makaunawa. Nakahanda po ang aking bisig na makipagtulungan kanino man alang-alang sa ating bansa. Mula noon hanggang ngayon, ako po ay walang pinipiling kulay. Lahat ay mahalaga. Lahat ay may maaaring maiambag upang magampanan ang ating mandato bilang kinatawan ng ating pong mga mamamayan. Sa ating pong mga kababayan, Hinihiling ko po na magpatuloy tayong magmatsyag at magbantay. Tanging kayo lamang po ang makakapagsabi at makakapagpasya kung dapat bang ibigay ninyo muli ang tiwala sa amin. Kayo ang magiging bahagi ng reforma para masiguro natin sa darating na mga araw ang kapakanan ng taong bayan ang mauuna. Ngayon na po ang oras, hindi bukas, hindi sa susunod na mga araw. Sama-sama tayong babangon, sama-sama tayong kumilos, sama-sama tayong maglingkod. Hindi magiging madali ang ating tatalakayin. Alam kong magiging mahirap para sa ating lahat, pero gaano man kahirap kung ito naman ang nararapat, kung ito naman ang tama, ito ang kailangan nating gawin at pagtulungan. Sa bagong kongreso, ipaparamdam po natin ang tunay na malasakit. Ipapamalas natin ang tunay na paglilingkod na nakatutok ng buo para sa pag-angat ng buhay ng sambayanang Pilipino. Walang ibang agenda, walang ibang interes. Kapakanan ng Pilipino ang simula, gitna at dulo at wala ng iba. Sa lahat ng ito, hindi tayo hatulan sa ating mga salita, kundi sa ating mga gawa. Hindi tayo husgahan sa ating mga pangako, kundi sa ating pagtupad. Kaya hinihikayat ko ang bawat isa na sama-sama nating isulong ang isang bagong Pilipinas na matatag, marangal at nagkakaisa. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong pagtitiwala. Pagpalain nawa tayo ng puong may kapal. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
There we have it, the new Speaker of the House of Representatives in the 20th Congress, si Speaker Boji D. Faustino D. III.
I will not defend the guilty. I will not shield the corrupt. No rank, no ally, no office spared from accountability. Di ko hayaan ng mga miyembro na gamitin sa personal na interest itong Kongreso. So,
said all the right things.
Dami pang ako. Let's see.
I will not defend the guilty or protect the corrupt. Yan, take away.
Yes.
So he was saying...
Give us a chance to regain your trust. So give them a chance ba, Ronald?
Bakit ako?
ikaw yung heckler eh.
Ikaw yung heckler eh, kaya tinatanong mo. Give them a chance daw. Lahat tayo, maganda actually yung sinabi niya, no? Kaya lang, of course, the coming days will show kung talagang ano yan. Talagang they will be judged daw by their action at by their words. Tingnan natin. Ang
interesting thing to me is he was clearly not expecting this. So now we're starting to put the puzzle together. Mukhang na nominate lang siya, no? Or somebody put either the president appointed him or his name was put forth by his colleagues, and from there the president.
Di ba independent nga?
Oh, independent nga. Di ba si Congressman Adyong already laid to rest that presumption, which is, we all know, okay, on paper, they're all supposed to be independent chambers of government, but really...
Habang paliwanag sa presinto.
I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to be fake news.
But okay, anyway, the only point is, hindi niya ine-expect to. No? He was
basically.
He was saying na...
Kaya wala siya sa running before SONA, wala siya sa running last week, no?
Hindi siya nangampanya.
Lumabas lang yung pangalan niya last weekend.
Oo.
On a Sunday. No? At nagkaroon ng traction on a Monday. At ngayon, na-finalize, actually on a Tuesday.
You're right, kasi yung first few names na naririnig namin also didn't include him. Hindi siya kasama. And then itong last few days lang nga.
Yung iba, pang-embellish na lang. Wala naman talaga silang kinabukasan na speaker. Rolly Puno, diba? Si Garcia.
Si Kiko.
Albert Garcia, that's right.
Tsaka
Si Albert Garcia.
Barsaga, yung kandidato natin.
So, sumunod kaya yung mga sumunod kaya? He's calling on, mahirap-hirap tong niya, he's calling for sea change in the attitudes of congressmen. I will not allow the members of Congress daw na gamitin yung Kongreso for personal interest.
Well, it is better said, it is easier said than done. No?
But nobody's gonna disagree with him in Congress. Nobody's gonna say, I don't agree with
Hindi,
you.
sinabi naman niya na mahirap yung trabaho, di
Yung
ba?
staff toy mo lang.
Kaya titingnan nga natin, he made all the right noises, ha? Kaya lang, yun na nga, susunod ba yung mga congressman na yan?
Nakita ni Lucci sa office ko.
Talaga?
The question maybe is...
Pag napauwi niya si Saldico, ayun, may malaking bagay na yun.
Oo. Maybe the better question is how big of a mandate was he given by President Marcos? And how much political how much political leverage was he given to enact change?
Well, ang naiiba kasi ay kailangan siya ng presidente ngayon dahil nga sa nangyayari, di ba? Kaya hindi rin siya basta-basta in-appoint lang dyan nang walang isang strong mandate. Dahil kung walang mangyari sa kanya, ang tatamaan ay presidente.
You have to get the impression that you're cleaning house.
So hindi lang siya, at least hindi lang siya band-aid, at least yung layunin, no? At dadaan siya sa microscope, yung lahat ng kanyang gagawin. At up and running siya, hindi yan slow burn. No? Kailangan may results immediately. At ikatlo, dapat dramatic and compelling. No?
Imagine he is now the fourth most powerful person in the country.
Kung hindi, kakainin siya ng principal.
Which principal?
Ano na, pag nag-guess siya dito.
Mabigat siya mga pangako niya. Under my leadership, this house will change.
Yes.
Aba? That's a major mandate. Tingnan natin kung ano mangyari dyan. Ang daling sumim lang din sa ganyang klaseng pangako.
Ang problema kasi, Martin, the institution, the House, gusto mong baguhin, pero the members of the House
Would you call Martin?
Are just the same.
Yun nga susunod ba yung member?
Diba? The members of the House are just the same. So yung gusto mong baguhin yung institusyon, gusto mong baguhin yung House, ay hindi ganun kadali. Because the members na pinanggalingan din itong crisis na ito are still basically the same.
Yan nga. Kaya baka, ewan ko, siguro, sabi niya merong mga, yung sinabi sa atin kanina ni Deputy Speaker, Deputy Majority Leader, mga digitalization, baka pwede naman structural changes para mapilitan,
Oo, dahil ang sinasabi na yung
maging accountable.
Digitalization is basically more of the form, not the substance.
Oo nga, yun na nga. Hindi, at least you're plugging some opportunities. Saka, tinanong lang natin yung silent nga. Silent lang, di pa maano.
You know what's also not clear at this point is how much room will he have to make changes given, remember, si Congressman Martin Romualdez will still be a member of the House, still is the leader of his party, and still is pretty influential. Right?
CD is still the biggest party.
It is still the ruling party in Congress. So,
but you also create your own space. No? Ibig sabihin,
if you were his political advisor, yan yung advice mo, create your own space.
Yeah, of course. Dahil hindi naman pwedeng naghihintay ka na lang dun sa karinderya hanggang dumating yung mga ulam. Kailangan may gawin ka. Dapat magluto ka rin.
Nagugutom na yata yung kasama niyo.
Dapat magluto ka rin. Pwede nyo magluto. Huwag ka lang maghintay.
Si Ronald.
Yun yung space na kailangan mong...
Kasi mahirap parang, so si Congressman Zia kanina, when we were interviewing him, compared it to corporation na nagpalit na leader, so medyo somber yung mood. Pero paano kung nandun pa rin yung leader, yung old leader, right? Paano kung nandun pa rin yung old
alam
CEO?
ko, meron siyang, in the next few days, meron siyang dramatic na gagawin. Tigil ang flood control, tigil ang insertions, gawing open yung, kung meron pa ring small committee, gawing open yan, or buksan yung previous small committee. So, yan yung mga indicative moves na compelling, dramatic, at ipapakita na may bago akong mandate, may bago akong style of leadership, may bago akong trajectory.
But
the bigger thing people are waiting for is what will he do with the previous people who were involved. For example, si Zaldico, si Martin, and so on down the line.
Mukhang tuloy naman yung investigation dyan ng ICI, tuloy dyan yung investigation ng Senate at saka TRICOM. Sabi niya, tuloy yung TRICOM. No? Yun ang purpose ng TRICOM. Kaya at least yung binanggit niya ay hindi sila dedepensahan. No? Kasama sila sa investigation pa rin. No? At sinabi rin niya ni Speaker Martin Romualdez kanina, di ba? Na hindi niya, na kailangan magpatuloy itong mga investigasyon na ito. In so many words, saying na papaloob ako sa investigasyon.
Actually, may earlier indicators na binigay si Ronnie Puno. Sabi niya, bring Zaldico home forcibly if necessary.
Yeah.
Actually,
they have to bring. Yun. Ano yun? Low-hanging fruit yun. Kailangan iuwi nila si Zaldico.
Sabi ni Congressman Terry Ridon, nagpadala na sila ng letter of invitation to Congressman Zaldico. Last we spoke to him, di pala nagre-reply pa. But they have asked him to join the hearing.
Baka walang internet sa US?
Baka snail mail.
Walang internet.
Oo nga, no? Hindi ko natanong yun. How did you send the letter? How did you give the letter?
Merong medical problem.
No.
Low blood pressure.
I don't want to heckle the medical problems. For all we know, it's a serious issue. But what do you think?
Talaga ni Reg?
No, because
ikaw yung heckler eh.
You know,
That's your
I
job.
treat medical problems seriously, right? My own husband has a heart issue. Teka lang, Ronald, what would you advise?
Control problem niya,
What would you
husband mo.
advise si Congressman D? Should he change his entire leadership? Should he change all of the deputy speakers, change the committee chairs, lahat clean slate? Or...
Well, for now, hindi niya magagawa yon.
Okay.
Dahil nga nasa gitna sila ng budget process, at least for a month. No? After niyan, baka pwede. Pero, quid pro quo yan eh. Dahil meron kang 5 major political parties sa loob. Kakausapin niya yan. At hindi yan mga pushover. Actually, ang pinakamaliit nga dyan, yung partido niya.
Yes, correct.
Yung partido
27, 28 members.
Yan.
So,
So, ang malalaki dyan, Nacionalista, NPC, NUP Lakas. Kaya, yes, may suporta siya ng Malacanang, kaya siya naging speaker. Pero, kinakailangan ay konsultahin din niya yung 5 major parties dahil ayaw din niya makaawa yan. No? Ayaw niyang si Congressman Barsaga lamang ang babanat sa kanya. No? Kaya, yun yung tingin ko, magkakaroon ng caucuses starting yesterday. Nag-uusap na yung mga yan. No? At,
But what are the
pero
chances?
sinasabi ko lang, hindi pa niya bapaltan yung mga key positions, all positions. Kaya nga, ang sinabi kanina, speaker lang ang vacant eh.
Yeah.
Dahil nga may ongoing process. Pag tinigil yan, pag binakante lahat ng position, it will take a 1-month delay. Na para sa budget process ay medyo matagal. No?
But what are the chances that Lakas will change his leadership?
Ibang usapin pa yun.
Kasi di ba?
Huwag mong kalimutan, si GMA is a member of Lakas, di ba? At ang pinagmamalaki niya, siya ang mentor ni Martin. No?
Siya ang mentor ni Sara.
Yung iba dyan, maglilipatan ng party. Lalaki ang party ni Speaker.
Posible yun.
Ganyan naman dito sa atin. Ganyan naman dito sa
Federal
atin.
bigla naging major party.
Ganyan lang naman dito.
ano yung, what are you saying here? You think biglang GMA will suddenly have a role in all of this?
Hindi naman. Si GMA kasi is waiting on the wings eh. No? Depende sa political climate. At mukhang yung political climate may change in the next 2 years to her advantage. Who knows? No? Pero si GMA kasi is a survivor.
Yeah.
And isa siyang Toronaga, the long game. Parang sa Shogun. No? Hinihintay, nagkukan siya.
And I didn't see it.
Oh, tsaka mahaba ang PC niya. Hindi mo napanood yung Shogun?
Hindi.
Panoorin mo. Parang lumabas ka naman sa kuweba.
Wala akong
K-pop Demon
Walang
Hunter
Netflix
na ngayon,
live.
ano, Ronald.
Hindi, ang ganda ng Bigsi lang.
Hindi makarelate yung mga ano.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Oh.
Lots of
Overtime. Okay na kayo.
lots of things going on, and we'll continue keeping a close eye on all of that. We're just waiting to see if meron pang last-minute happenings at the lower house. But mukhang
May tugtog na kayo eh.
okay, we don't have the live stream anymore, so we will end on that note. Thank you for joining StoryCon today. Ami Pabintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for StoryCon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the StoryCon Group.